Weird, like let everybody in today without my permission. How many we got? I see Abby, Addie, Nora, Lila, Huey. I don't think Elena's coming today. She's got something going on. All right, hopefully we can get through this without my dogs being a pain in the ass today. I'm going to, oops. All right. All right, so today I'm going to start you guys with a little like visualization. If you want to turn off your camera when you do it, you might. I haven't done this one yet verbally myself. I'm going to send you my version of the Braver today for your own keeping. What's great about this week, it's we've already done your Braver stuff. You've learned that part. Hopefully you've done your power statements and you're on that in your that's on your phone, on your phone wallpaper, and you're repeating those. It's just about the ritual of it and pounding that positive belief work for yourself. Hopefully you're doing that. I'm going to continue to send you more like private visualizations so that you can do those on your own. We're going to do one here in just a minute. But what's great about today, what's great about today's is that we get to play this weekend. And so we're going to talk about how to get ready to play on a daily basis. And again, we'll cover this when we get back to the winter time. I'm the varsity, the team that I'm coaching is I might go in and do the JV as well, but we're gonna do this as a group, so that we're all on the same page come game nights, and it's going to be personal to you, whatever your pregame is, and you'll see through this workshop that that's individualized for you, right? And when we get into game day situations and you're trying to get ready to play, it could be a joint effort. It could be, we've got to leave so-and-so alone. She's doing her own thing. She's getting ready. And we'll talk about what that looks like to you and how to get there. And then I'm going to send you a worksheet as soon as we're done today. And I want you to do it by Saturday. I want you to do it by the time we play Saturday. Okay. All right. I am going to, at this point, I'm going to play a recording for you. If you want to turn off your camera while you do this, you can. You're only going to get out of this what you put into it, just like anything else. I don't judge. If you don't feel like doing it, then don't. But then why are you here? Okay. So at this point, you can go ahead. If you want to just turn off your camera, you can. Actually, real quick, let me see if you can. I want to get a thumbs up just to see if you can hear this.
Hi, and welcome to the body scan meditation. In this exercise, I'll be taking.
Okay, you can. Okay, again, that's my mentor. I still need to do all these recordings. So, all right. So if you want to turn off your camera, if you want to leave it on, that's fine too. All right, just relax. It's about 5 minutes, 6 minutes. When we're done, we'll get into our little presentation here. Okay. All right, here we go.
Hi, and welcome to the body scan meditation. In this exercise, I'll be taking you through some visualization and meditation techniques that'll help you increase your body awareness and bring your attention to the present moment. My name is Lindsay, and I'll be your guide through this meditation. And remember, this time is really for you to help you live, love, and compete with your fullest self. So as usual, get somewhere comfortable, close your eyes, and start paying attention to your breathing. Paying attention to the rise and fall of the chest, the movement of air and vibrations moving through you. And as you do that, really start coming into yourself on a deep, true level, connecting with yourself, with all of who you are and who you hope to be, and really bringing your attention to your body. Letting everything else in your life, everything else around you physically sort of fade into the background. and really bringing that breath through your entire body. And what you're going to do now is I want you to imagine a color that brings a feeling of healing, maybe a feeling of relaxation, or just a feeling of being fully present. Whatever that color is for you, I want you to use that color. And I want you to move that color with your mind, starting at the tips of your toes. That color moves up from your toes to your arches, heels, and ankles. That color moves up into your calves and shins and knees. And not only does that color move through every tendon, ligament, joint, but it pushes out any stress, any worry, any anxiety, any negative feelings, any soreness. And it brings that color that you've chosen, that color of rest, of healing, of relaxation. Maybe it's an energy color. And then you're going to move that color up from your knees into your thighs, your hamstrings, your quadriceps, your hips. And again, letting that color fill in through every tendon, ligament, and joint, relaxing your body, bringing energy to your body, and pushing out anything that's not needed. Using the very power of your mind, you're going to move that color up now through your pelvis and lower back, lower stomach, up through your chest and upper back. And then you're going to move that color down your arms, down your forearms, down into your fingers and hands. Now everything from your neck down is filled with that color. That color is swirling through every tendon, ligament, and joint, from the top of your neck to the tips of your toes, to the tips of your fingers. And then I want you to imagine that color bringing almost a lightness to your body, almost like you're floating above the chair, above the ground, almost a numbness even. And then I want you to imagine that color bringing so much relaxation that you feel like your body is almost sinking into the chair or into the ground, almost like you're heavy. And then bringing that color into your neck, to the muscles around your ear, letting it swirl around you, top of your head to your forehead, relaxing all the tiny muscles around your eyes and nose, chin, mouth, and jaw, until every part of your body has that color swirling and swooshing and moving through it, till the top of your head, to the tips of your fingers, to the tips of your toes, is now feeling that color of healing, of rest, of relaxation, of energy. And then using the power of your mind to take that color and let it concentrate in an area that is particularly needed. Maybe it's a sore knee. Maybe it's a tight shoulder. Maybe you just want to move it for fun and feel what it feels like. Letting your mind play as you bring that true body awareness to yourself. And bringing your attention back to your breath now. Taking some nice deep breaths, giving yourself credit for being here, for being mindful, for tapping into that very, very power that's within you all the time. Recognizing that you can go back to this color, to this mentality, to this power at any moment you choose. Anytime, night or day, whenever you need to connect with yourself, you can do it using your breath, paying attention to your body, bringing a color to where it's needed most. Taking some final deep breaths. I want you to move a finger or a toe to connect with your body in this present moment. Taking another deep breath, feeling the shifts in your body and in your mind after having spent this time being mindful, giving yourself credit for meditating, and forgiving yourself if your mind wandered, knowing that you did your very best. Taking a final deep breath, coming back into the present moment, and opening your eyes when you're ready.
All right, guys, good job. I've been trying to make this kind of stuff part of my daily routine. I like to do it outside. I just go sit outside. Tahoe's awesome. The weather was great. Sun felt really good. But these are good examples of when, like, if you're getting ready, just to start your day, like if you wake up and you just don't feel quite there, quite right, just some private personal time is good. Headphones in, headphones out. Whether it's just doing our braver or it's just kind of connecting with yourself. It's a great opportunity. So that's what today is about. Today's just about competition, and what that looks like. Before we get started, I know I've seen maybe 4 or 5 of you. I saw your power statements. Anybody want to turn on their mic and talk about any challenges in progress this week? Anybody do any sort of mindfulness work this week? Make an effort to do it? Anybody try and think about it but didn't quite get to it? Anybody want to talk about it? Maybe somebody hasn't spoken yet. Oh, my camera's off. Anyone, please? All right, I'm going to cue you. Addie, you took a break this week. Yay, took a break for a couple days. Want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I took a break for like 2 days because after Wednesday's game, my body was like killing me and my like mental side of the game was like all messed up. So I took 2 days off, partly because I was sick, but after coming back, like during those 2 days off, I sat with myself a couple times and I tried doing a couple of like the breathing techniques and I did the power statements. And then coming back, I just felt better. Like I felt like I enjoyed the game better, basketball and just in life general.
Great, it's awesome. Yeah, I have an injury meditation too that I can send you. So if you're still feeling banged up, I have one that's kind of like that body scan, but it's
Mhm.
about injury recovery. So I can send you that too if you're still feeling it. I'm gonna send you guys at the end of, I think we have 2 more sessions, and I think at the end of it, I'm gonna send you like a block of like 5 or 6 of them so that you guys have them on your own. So when we come across moments where we're just coach player, and I can say to you, have you spent some time with this? Have you tried to do this? So that you can at least have something to fall back on, right? Again, all this stuff is really, it's your own power, and it's whether or not you are able to let yourself go to be able to do it. And that's the biggest challenge, right? So in working with you guys or working with players in the future, like my my challenge, I think, is leading someone into it is your willingness to do it. That's really what it comes down to, because um I don't know, teenagers are stubborn and sometimes it's hard to get yourself to buy into something. Um, and the only way to ever really feel the true impact of it is to actually do it over a series of time. It's not a one-off type of thing. And we talked about that in week 1 and how your brain works, right? That your elephant's going to lead you astray. It's going to lead you back to that comfort zone of what you do all the time. You want to be right, your motivation triad, you want to be comfortable, you want to be safe. And it's that constant work to get yourself to where you need to be and to make it part of your daily routine. I'm excited to kind of watch you from afar and have some conversations about that. I do want to, I know Eliana signed up to meet with me tonight, and I'll resend out the Calendly, but I really do want to meet with each of you individually at some point in the next 2 weeks, just to kind of close out and get some feedback from you. Just to help our player coach relationship, but also in kind of closing out this whole game plan. mental game plan scenario and seeing kind of what worked for you, what didn't, okay? Hopefully you're still doing some journaling. I'm going to continue to send you some journal prompts. Today's lesson at the end, you'll have the opportunity to do that in preparation for this weekend. If you're not playing this weekend, like Abby, if you have a cross this weekend, Abby, so you can use it for the same thing, right? You can do it wherever you're going to be. Same idea. You use it there, okay? I don't care if it's basketball or whatever, okay? All right. All right, so I'm going to see if I can get this to move the right way. Okay. So we've kind of gone through this this little diagram, and we are working our way into daring and what it takes to be at your best for longer. And it's harder than you thought. Like, how do you manage that in-game mentality and get yourself to sort of maximize your potential through it, and then through failure and obstacles, right? And under pressure. So we are a basketball team, and competition is kind of our test on a daily basis or on a bi-weekly basis, right? And trying to get up for that. You're the first generation in the history of sport where people have said you compete too much. You guys hear about this, right? This whole phenomenon with club basketball, club volleyball, club soccer. You have games, multiple games in a weekend, right? Where you lose a game, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it doesn't matter, we play again in an hour. And then you move on to the next game, or you're just constantly playing, right? Whereas 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you would practice for 5 days to get to play once. So it was really kind of easy to get up for games and really get yourself to like a high vibe situation to get excited because you've been busting your ass for a week and then you finally get to play. That's not really the case anymore. You guys are playing so much that sometimes it can be challenging to get up for games, and you find yourself in the middle of competition and you're just not there. Your vibe's not right. You're not really up for it. So today's workshop is about how to get there, right? Because there's just an inconsistency, and it might happen over, like if you think back over to last weekend in the North Marin Classic, or whether you were volleyball tournament, whenever you were most recently playing, and you play softball, like that inconsistency of being mentally engaged throughout the entire experience, that's challenging, right? It's challenging to get ready for each at bat, trying to get ready for each time you come off the bench. Maybe it's pregame, maybe it's a team we've already played before. That's all happening. So how do we get consistent with how do we get ready to play on game nights, right? And part of that is sort of self-analyzation of what it is that like makes you who you are and gets you to where you want to go. And it's looking at those feelings and the neuroscience of why you feel the way you do. You've probably heard me ask, are you nervous? I think the first weekend at Justin Siena, I asked some of the younger kids, I said, are you nervous? And I got a different varied response. I was hoping that you would all say yes, because nerves are a good sign, right? Nerves are like, it's fight or flight. It's your human basic response to like danger. Never been here before. Don't know what's going on, right? This is going to be difficult. Am I going to fail? Or maybe you're confident to the point of like, I'm going to be a badass and I'm going to dominate, but maybe there's still nerves surrounding that on whether or not you actually believe it. Okay, so getting yourself to a point of where your confidence is at its peak level, right? So we're gonna call it our hype level, pregame hype level. Are you hyped, right? You've all heard this term. Are you hyped for the game? Are you hyped, whatever? You're hyped for the concert tomorrow night, whatever it might be, right? Like this peak level of where we want to be when it comes time to compete. And it's going to look different for everyone. And we're going to go over this little chart, and you're going to see it. And you're going to see your teammates behave in different ways on game days. I watch you guys do it, and I can tell who's ready and who's not most of the time based on your regular routine, right? I think back to senior night last year. We were not ready to play. Girls were still doing their hair in the mirror when we were getting ready to take the floor, right? We were not dialed in to our hype level. We were not ready to play. And what happened? We didn't play well for that first quarter. It was not good, right? And we talked about it. We said, hey, look, like this all comes back to not the fact that it's senior night, but we weren't ready to play from the start. And yes, we had distraction. And yes, we had not an excuse, but there was something different about the night. We need to get ourselves to a place where our pregame routine in between the years, as well as your physical sort of readiness, is all rooted in a place of confidence where you're ready to go out and just be the best version of yourself, right? And the main thing is we're all very inconsistent in our mental approach to how we get ready to play, right? So in the chat, give me one thing that you do on. Give me one thing that you do on game day that you consider to be consistent within a half an hour of taking the court, the fields. Okay, now you listen to music. Is it the same music? Is it the same thing every time? Do you switch it up? Is it upbeat? Is it chill? Like, is it consistent? Yeah, I see. I can see. I know I've seen all you guys do this before. Untie and retie your shoes. Star dribbling. Oh, right. Okay, you're going to see all of this in here, right? Okay. We need to make sure that this is something that you do on a regular basis just for your own well-being, just for your own mental approach, right? That's why you're doing it. Some of it's physical, right? But we need to settle in on something that's very consistent, right? That leads to consistent results. So that means I gave you some homework this week, and the homework was, besides the power statements, I wanted you to journal or think about one of your best moments. Like one of the best you've ever played, one of your highlight reel moments. That's what I'm going to send you today, is this worksheet on highlight reel and what that looked like. Do you have any memory of what that was like pregame? Right? Most of us probably don't, right? And so this is what today is about. It's about being conscious, mentally aware of your peak hype level around when you play your best. And it's not just spaghetti wall. It's not just throwing stuff at the wall and be like, oh, I listened to this music today. And it's just inconsistent. The purpose behind all this is finding a consistent routine for yourself to get ready to play. Right? So what does it feel like to go into a test, right? We all know what that feels like. You get a look, your nerves are up, you're not quite sure if you're ready. Maybe you did the studying, maybe you didn't, right? What's it like? It's all different for each one of us and whether you prepare. So you know that the top three things that people are most afraid of are, or the top two are death, and the other one is public speaking, right? Those are the two most nerve-wracking things that people like, leads to their fight or flight, their fear level, right? So what does that feel like going into an event? That's your peak, like, oh crap, I got to get up in front of everybody, or I have a big test. And it's equivalent to, maybe it is what it feels like going into a big game, right? So I don't know, at Marin Catholic on a Friday night, at Redwood, okay, MCAL playoff game. Most of you now have been in this situation, or I shouldn't say most of you, some of you now have been in this situation and what that feels like to go into that big game. And now, how do we corral that preparation? How do we corral the perfect moment to be ready in that situation so that that big game, that big test, that public speaking isn't daunting to the point where we're like, I know how to get myself to where I need to go, so that when I step out on the stage, I step out onto the court, or I sit down in front of that AP test, I'm dialed, right? It's all the same. All of these feelings are all within that same mental approach, okay? So we want to normalize what this feels like. That's the purpose behind what we do, is to make sure you understand that this is normal. right? And you understand nervousness versus being excited and how to balance the balance between those two to get yourself ready to be where you need to be. Okay. So going back to our week 2, we talked about the tear process, right? Your thoughts lead to emotion, lead to action, and end up in results, right? So there's a game against you fill in the blank. We're all probably going to say Marine Catholic or Redwood, right? And my body is reacting with blank, right? The thought in your head goes, well, I'm really nervous. This must be a sign that I'm not ready. I'm scared, right? And so what happens? You begin to get scared and you start to go through that cyclical circle of reinforcing yourself and being right, right? So then the action is you start playing scared in warmups, you're hesitant, you start missing some shots, you worry about every mistake being a sign that you aren't ready, right? And then you go out and you play tight and you don't play with any sort of confidence. We've all been in that situation. We've all been there. I've seen it from you. I lived it. I get it, right? Whereas what we want to do is we want to start to think about it differently. I'm nervous. That's a good sign for me. It means that my body is physically getting ready to go out and compete in a scary and big moment, right? This is my body telling me I'm getting ready. So then you're confident. You get ready for these games. You're like, this is it. I've been prepared for this. I'm confident. I've done the work, right? So then you warm up different. You got a good sweat going, right? Get a lot of touches, high fives. You're spreading that around to everybody else. You're dialed in, ready to play. And then results fall where they may not always win, but you're at your peak vibe level to start that game. Right? So this whole game face, this method that you're going to learn about is part of your mental toolbox. We've talked about your toolbox last week. Your braver is one of them, right? This is another one. It's getting yourself ready and understanding mentally and physically where you need to be to start to play your best. And again, this is going to mean going back and doing some mental research into when you played your best or when you are at your best so that you can sort of dial that in and start to, it's probably not going to happen overnight. This might take you half the season to start to figure out like where you are and at your best and what state you were in to when you walked into the gym, walked into the team room, walked out to the court, through warmups, through lineup announcements, through tip off, what was your peak state and how did you get there, right? But I am going to encourage you to try to do some journaling and go back and think about some of your best moments, some of your best performances, and maybe what that felt like and what that looked like. All right. So that you can come back to your current awareness, okay, of where you are on game day, and then start using some tools to get yourself to that spot so that you're at your ideal performance state. Okay. And this goes back to I think it was a Duke study where they developed this idea of the inverted U theory. Looks like this, right? Where your hypes level across the bottom, okay, that's like how hyped up you are versus the up level is your performance. Whereas if you start at 0, you're not ready to play, you're not hyped at all, so then you don't play well at all. And you can see as you move up the hype level and you start to move over to an overhyped zone. And if you've ever been in that space where you're overly hyped, right? You're just, I'm so jacked up that I'm not sure I'm ready. Then you start to move into this anxiousness, this stress zone, and you can see that like your performance level starts to come back down. So ideally, and for all of you, this is going to look different. So 1 through 10, your hype levels, for some of you, it might be a 7. You might need to get yourself to a place where you're on that verge of stress. Some of us might do better when we're just a little bit calmer and we're not quite there yet. You need to get out there and hear the music coming through the speakers, right? But somewhere along this peak of this up inverted U is your peak performance, your best performance pre-game hype level, right? And this is going to look different for each of you. I'm going to send you a worksheet and I want you to journal, think about it. Where do I need to be to play my best version of this? And this weekend is your first opportunity to do some pre-game stuff get yourself ready to play. And I'm going to encourage you on Saturday to stop talking to each other about whatever it is you're talking about, your socks, your somebody sitting up in the stand, somebody in the other team, and really spend some time this weekend thinking about, am I ready to play? What's best for me to get myself into a peak performance mode and ready to go? And it's going to look different. You're going to have back-to-back games Saturday, back games Sunday. Saturday, there'll be games before you. Sunday, they won't. Saturday is going to be some teams we've already played. Sunday, we play Archie Williams, a league foe, who's supposed to be pretty good this year. You're going to have these different challenges on how to get ready to play in different environments. And your goal this weekend is to think about this U theory and where your hype level is and how do I get there, right? So where should you be, right? So based on past performances, not today, like not your day's event, you're going to want to know where this star is. Where is that ideal spot? And your actual might be where you are today. So what are some tools to get you there, right? So again, where am I right now? I'm going to go around and point at you during pregame on Saturday and say, what's your hype level? Are you there? Right? What do you need to do? Okay. This is what you're going to be thinking about in your head. You're going to see this upside down smiley face, the sad face. Okay. So what can I do to alter it? You've already told me some music. You told me some dribbling. All right. What you want is a routine that allows you to trust in this process, right? And reframing your nerves into excitement. So rather than we're gonna have some ninth graders on our team this year, right? That's probably the truth, right? You're gonna have some girls who've never played varsity before in the room, right? There's going to be nerves. So how do you reframe that into excitement, right? Now, I've given you one already. I've given you some, right? I'm going to give you more. It might mean putting your headphones on, spending some time in the corner. You see LeBron do it. You see all of these athletes sit in their locker, put their headphones on, and some of them are listening to music. Some of them, I can guarantee you, are going through these guided visualizations. There's a reason LeBron is a multi-million-dollar sponsor for the Calm app, right? So braver. Okay, we're going to practice that again on our way out of the room today. It might be music. It might be additional physical warm-up to get hyped or burn off energy. That's not for me to judge. Like sometimes I watch you guys, pew, 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 bouncing off the walls. Some of you guys are just sitting still. I cannot keep even as a coach, like I have my own pregame stuff that I do. I don't stop moving, right? I gather stuff. I wash the footboard. Those are all part of my pregame get ready to coach like routine. It's all part of my toolbox. Is like I don't walk out there until like typically 2 minutes or a full song. I don't like to watch you guys warm up. I start judging your readiness by watching you warm up. I don't watch you. We all have our own different thing that we do, right? This one right here, I think can be dangerous if you are not smart about it. So negative visualization to get hyped up means that you do some visualization of not being ready, maybe going back to some times when you didn't play well. Maybe it's earlier in the season where you are not playing well, dribbling off your foot, not shooting well. Maybe you do some brief visualization of what that felt like and what that looked like so that you're like, oh, hell no, that's not me today. This game's too big. And so your hype number starts to come up, right? Those can be dangerous. You don't want to send yourself down the I'm not ready, I'm not good enough tunnel. But for some, the fear of failure can be motivational, right? And then other random things you do, right? Abby ties her shoes and reties her shoes, right? Maybe there's superstition. Maybe there's certain ways you tuck your shorts in, you roll your shorts. You all have different kind of things that you do, right? But these are actionable things that make you feel like there are something and that you are ready. All right. So the idea is to get super into your zone, right? Then come down into this level of calm where you're ready to play and then maintain that throughout the game, right? That's the mental training zone. That is your game face mode, is to be right in that spot. There's some viral videos of LeBron where he's like comes out of the game. Have you guys seen this? And he's sitting on the bench and everybody's milling about and he's just sitting on the bench with his eyes closed and he's just, nobody's talking to him, right? That's all part of this mental practice and routine of him visualizing what his best effort and what his best play looks like. And you'll see athletes today doing that, right? Across all types of sports. And I want to encourage you to start thinking about what does that mean for you? Does it mean sitting at the end of the bench? Does it mean not having players talk to you when you come to the bench, right? So that we can all get on the same page on what that means to maintain our game face during games. Okay, because ultimately this is the circle where you want your work to happen. And then we're going to talk about post game next week, where you're going to go back and look at your performance. You're going to develop an awareness of what worked, what didn't, tweak some things about how you went about it. And again, this is going to be fluid all the way through your winter season, your sophomore year, your junior year, your senior year, your lacrosse season, your volleyball season. That's going to change. So it's going to iterate through all of it. It might look different for basketball than it does for lacrosse. It might look different for volleyball than it does for basketball, right? And ideally is to build up this ideal of trust in your own routine and what you're doing so that you can tweak it to get yourself ready to play. Okay, so I'm going to I sent you guys these sheets last night, right? And I want you to actually, you can write it on these if you want to print them out, or you can actually just open your journal. And I want you to write it out, what it takes for you to get hyped, right? Be really thorough with the journaling and like what it is that you do. Really think about it, right? Maybe write some things that you want to try, maybe some things that you can do. Okay, what are some things that can get you to calm down once the game starts? Okay, whether it's on the bench, maybe you can write something about what you do on the floor to settle down. Like what happens when you come down and miss the first shot? You airball, you miss a breakaway layup. Like how do you get yourself to come back to that maintenance level, right? I was a perennial airballist. The first shot I took in every game, it was just monumental break. It was just how I played. Like I couldn't feel my arms. It was weird. Like it took me a shot to be like, yeah, I got it out of my system for me to start to really get back to where I needed to be, right? And then how do you maintain it? How do you get yourself there? How do you maintain it? Right? Okay, that's the ideal shape and form. So I'm going to send you today what looks like this. I'm going to let you guys do this offline because we are 40 minutes. It looks like this. It's going to be to create, move my screen. I think I have it actually. Oops. Hold on a second. Sorry, I gotta close this out. Okay, so I'm gonna send this back to you. You're gonna create a personalized highlight reel so far, right? And you can go back to that 5th grade game when you scored 6 points, right? It's up to you, right? And I'm gonna give you, there's 10 different items that I want you to go back and think about, right? I want you to think about all of these situations, and I want you to think about the emotion that went with it, right? And what I want you to do is on Saturday, before you show up to the gym, take this with you, right? Maybe it's easier to write it in your little journal so you have this little handbook with you instead of this sheet of paper. And I want you to go through these, and I want you to close your eyes on the car ride up, or whether it's in the parking lot or whatever. And I want you to take some like do some concentrated breathing, right? Imagine that there's this camera on your forehead and you're going to go through each highlight reel in your head one at a time. And I want you to feel it, hear it, sense it, and feel all the motions that are tied to it, right? And I want you to begin to make this part of a regular practice. What did I feel like when I was going through my peak performance? What was that? What was that like? This should be a highlight reel that you all have in your head on game day, because it's all real. It's all moments that you've accomplished, that you've done. You know you can go back there. And the goal on those game days, when those nerves get to excitement and excitement starts to get much, this becomes part of your routine, whether it's before the game to get you to your hype level, whether it's when you come out of the game to get yourself back to where you need to be, or whether it's during a timeout and you could tap into these moments just for a moment to get yourself back to that maintenance level to play at your best, right? This is all about your belief work. It seems really kind of simple, seems really sort of like obvious, but unless you do the work itself, unless you actually go there, let your mind break free from all of the noise that's going on around you in games, then you're just kind of winging it. You're just winging it as you go. And you're not building up this toolbox or this resume of mental performance. And that's really what it comes down to. You guys are all doing the work, at least most of you are doing the work in the gym. You're going to trainers, you're showing up to practice, you're getting into the weight room, you're doing all that stuff. But ask yourself, how hard are you working on this part? How hard are you working on the mental side to get yourself ready to play, to maintain, or to just get back to where you need to be the best version of yourself? Okay, so your sheet's going to look like this. It's blurry. Okay, it's the same version of this, but it's got an empty highlight reel, right? And again, if you want to use that to put it away in your backpack, or if you want to, wait, here it is. If you just want to write it in your little notebook, like personally for me, I would like to just write it in my notebook so that I could always just flip to it in my backpack, right? And what's going to happen is you're going to see next week, we're going to talk about post game and how to evaluate your performance and then use it in your toolbox to be ready to play and for your off days, right? You're going to look back at how you played on a regular basis. I know last week, Coach Billy went out of his way to say, hey, go back and write in your journal about how you played today. How many of you guys actually did that? How many of you actually took the time to journal and say, this went well for me today? Good, good, because that's all part of it, right? It's creating these personalized highlight reels so that you can build yourself a toolbox to get back to when things don't go well. And I can promise you with 100% certainty that shit's not going to go well all the time. And you're going to have a way to get back to this. You'll have the physical tools, you'll have the mental preparedness, you'll think you're ready to go, but something's going to go sideways. We're going to get our asses kicked. We're going to lose a lead, and you're going to have to fall back on something like this. Okay. So that's your homework for this week. I would really like to see your power statements if you haven't sent them to me. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. I am going to go ahead and lead you through our braver so you can practice. And when we're done, and I ask you to open up your eyes, you may give a wave, a thumbs up, and just check out. All right. Ellie, I will see you later tonight. Everybody else, please, I'm going to send you the Calendly. It's just all you have to do is put in your email and your name and sign up for a window. I'll create some for next week as well. I really want to meet 30 minutes and less with each of you, right? Consider it a post-summer check-in on how the summer went, okay? All right. So I'm going to shut off my share screen. And I want you guys to get grounded. So get back to where you were to start the day, feet flat on the floor. Relax in your seat. If you need your affirmations in front of you, your reset word in front of you, and you need to read it, then rather than closing your eyes, maybe just soften your gaze. Maybe you're starting to get used to those affirmations. Again, those affirmations might be part of your power statements. They may be one and the same. All right. So remember, we're gonna do 6 good deep breaths, 6-second count. Okay, at the peak of those breaths, you're gonna say that reset word to yourself. You're gonna let go. We're gonna do 6 of those. After those 6 breaths, we're gonna do 3 sort of deep thoughts on those affirmations. And then we'll come back to present moment and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. So when you're ready, go ahead and relax and sink back into your chair. When you're ready, go ahead and relax your gaze or close your eyes. And start to think about your breath. Start to feel those vibrations in your chest. Feel your body using that oxygen as you come in, as it comes in. Feel that oxygen in that breath as it goes all the way to the tips of your toes, to the top of your head. And we're going to start the first of our 6-second breathing. So go ahead and inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and say a reset word. Exhale 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reset word. Let it all out. Start to just really start to relax again. 5, 6. And inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reset word. Really start to feel like present in the moment. Let thoughts go by. 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reset word and exhale 4, 5, 6. Last one. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reset word and make this exhale as long as possible. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Keep your eyes closed. And whether you need to open your eyes to read your affirmation or you know it in your head, I want you to say that first affirmation to yourself. And I want you to really live in that moment. What does that feel like? What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? Really take your time to just settle into that affirmation and what that looks like for you to really experience it. Let me give you about 5 seconds. Okay, we're going to move on to that second affirmation. Go ahead and say it to yourself. Again, really live it, feel it, see it. Hopefully it should provoke some type of emotion in you, some type of bravado, maybe security, whatever it might be, but go ahead and just settle into that. All right, good. And your last affirmation. This one's probably maybe your best one. Maybe you had to dig a little deeper for this one. But again, just try to feel it. Try to live it. Try to imagine it, settle into it. And when you're ready, go ahead and come back to the present moment. Take a couple more good deep breaths. When you're ready, you may wiggle your toes and fingers, open your eyes, and say goodbye for the day. See you guys later. Ellie, I'll see you tonight. See you later. Any questions, text me, please.